everybody.
Hare Krishna.
We're in ecstasy. We've been joined by a couple of renegade Sankirtan devotees. Original Sankirtan devotees. It's not her. It's not me. Who is it? Who is it? Anyone can recognize the Sankirtan devotees? Yes, dear.
Alright. Canto 4, Chapter 11, Text 6. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Didn't go up on the last one. Why didn't you go up?
Because you level it out.
Leveled out around here. In years, mate. In years.
Huh? It's an incantation.
An incantation.
Alright, anyway, text 6. When Swayambhuva Manu saw that his grandson Dhruva Maharaj was killing so many of the Yakshasis who were not actually offenders, out of his great compassion he approached Dhruva with great sages to give him good instruction. Purport. Dhruva Maharaj attacked Alakapuri, the city of the Yakshas, because his brother was killed by one of them. Actually, only one of the citizens, not all of them, was guilty of killing his brother, Uttama. Dhruva Maharaj, of course, took a very serious step when his brother was killed by the Yakshas. War was declared and the fighting was going on. This sometimes happens in present days also. For one man's fault, a whole state is sometimes attacked. This kind of wholesale attack is not approved by Manu, the father and lawgiver of the human race. He therefore wanted to stop his grandson Dhruva from continuing to kill the Yaksha citizens who were not offenders. Yeah, this is like what we were saying in some previous reading, when you have leaders of different countries and stuff. Random discussion here, and everyone suffers for it. You know, it'd be better if the leaders, we lock them in a room and they can duke it out together. It's true though, isn't it? And the innocent people of the world don't have to suffer and have sanctions and whatnot, you know, suffer from rations and all that killing of people. Generalization talking here. So because at the end of the day, your average Joe Bloggs just wants to get on with his life. He's got his wife or kids, he's got his job, comes home, watch a bit of TV, have some dinner, have a kip. That's all you want. Who wants to go and send their sons to war, their fathers, or themselves? Who wants to, like, right now it could be like, oh, are we going to get bombed? Is this home, which is our shelter, going to get like crushed to pieces? Why? Because some man sitting in an office is upset with another man sitting in another office in another country. So just lock them in a room, let them duke it out, and Bob's your uncle.
There you have it. Politics 108.
If you agree with me, do a thumbs up.
By Bhava Bhakti.
But don't put anything overtly controversial and political in the comments, please, because it's generalisation.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Yeah, because then, you know, she'll have to come around and duke you up, innit? Dude, you can come in the room and duke it out.
No, I'm a bit more controlled.
Okay, text 7. Lord Manu said, Lord Manu, my dear son, please stop. It is not good to become unnecessarily angry. It is the path to hellish life. Now you are going beyond the limit by killing yakshas who are actually not offenders. I thought it was a very important point that was made, and maybe it'll be picked up on in this one, that actually in that community there was only one person who killed what's his brother's name? Uttama, yeah. So really there was only one person to be punished, but you know, Dhruva Maharaj unlocked all.
Unleashed hell.
Yeah. Purport. In this verse, the word atitoshena means with unnecessary anger. When Dhruva Maharaj went beyond the limits of necessary anger, his grandfather, Swayambhuva Manu, immediately came to protect him from further sinful action. From this we can understand that killing is not bad, but when killing is done unnecessarily, or when an offenseless person is killed, such killing opens the path to hell. Dhruva Maharaj was saved from such sinful action because he was a great devotee. Okay. Yeah, similar point. Fighting. Fighting's not bad. It's what you're fighting for, and it's also how you go about the fighting. So when you start to fight immorally for a moral purpose, then that becomes immoral. So, like that.
Next paragraph. A Kshatriya is allowed to kill only for maintenance of the law and order of the state. He's not allowed to kill or commit violence without reason. Violence is certainly a path leading to a hellish condition of life, but it is also required for maintenance of the law and order of the state. Here Lord Manu prohibited Dhruva Maharaj from killing the Yakshas because only one of them was punishable for killing his brother, Uttama. Not all of the Yaksha citizens were punishable. We find in modern warfare, however, that attacks are made upon innocent citizens who are without fault. According to the law of Manu, such warfare is the most sinful activity. Furthermore, at the present moment, civilized nations are necessarily maintaining many slaughterhouses for killing innocent animals. When a nation is attacked by its enemies, the wholesale slaughter of the citizens should be taken as a reaction to their own sinful activities. That is nature's law. It's quite controversial and sensitive. If you were to quote this in certain situations at the moment, if you were to bring up the reactions of war or the reactions of a nation being attacked by another one is because of their own sinful activities, taking part in slaughtering innocent animals, you know, on the one hand you'll get protests and people saying this should stop, whichever side you're on, this should stop, you know, don't do this, don't do that. But it's interesting how many people from both sides would agree with the third argument, which is, can you stop the killing of innocent, can you stop the slaughtering, not just the slaughtering of innocent animals? And you may be like, well, what's this got to do with what we're talking about? And may not even care about that angle, but go on with the protests on both sides for the people, as it were.
Did you say that people would agree or would not agree?
I said would not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay.
All right, text 8. My dear son, the killing of the sinless yakshas which you have undertaken is not at all approved by authorities, and it does not befit our family, which is supposed to know the laws of religion and irreligion. Text 9. My dear son, it has been proved that you are very much affectionate towards your brother and are greatly aggrieved at his being killed by the yakshas, but just consider, for one yaksha's offense, you have killed many others who are innocent. Text 10. One should not accept the body as the self, and thus, like the animals, kill the bodies of others. This is especially forbidden by saintly persons who follow the path of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. The words sadhunam rishikein anuvartinam are very significant. Sadhu means a saintly person. But who is a saintly person? A saintly person is he who follows the path of rendering service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rishikesh. In the Narada Pancharatra, it is said, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchate. The process of rendering favorable service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead with one's senses is called bhakti, or devotional service. Therefore, why should a person who is already engaged in the service of the Lord engage himself in personal sense gratification? Dhruva Maharaj is advised here by Lord Manu that since he is a pure servitor of the Lord, why should he unnecessarily engage like the animals in the bodily concept of life? An animal thinks that the body of another animal is his food. Therefore, in the bodily concept of life, one animal attacks another. A human being, especially one who is a devotee of the Lord, should not act like this. A sadhu, a saintly devotee, is not supposed to kill animals unnecessarily. Very powerful purport, very nice statements. I like this. Of course, the Sarvo Padivanir Muktam verse, which is from Narada Pancharatra, but also quoted in Nectar Devotion by Srila Rupa Goswami, means that, a saintly person or someone who's on the path of bhakti, Sarvo Padivanir Muktam, upadis, your designation, bodily designations, all Sarvo Padivanir Muktam. They're all freed, liberated, muktinam. One becomes freed from all of these bodily designations by service to Rishikesh, Rishikenam, Sevanam, Bhaktir, Uchate, Uttama Bhakti. So by serving the Lord, then these bodily designations disappear, and when we don't have these bodily designations, then we function in a different way. We don't see others as friends and enemies. We just see that we're all spirit souls connected with Krishna, his parts and parcels, like that. So, what to speak of killing another man? One doesn't even want to kill an ant. So, like that.
Text 11. It is very difficult to achieve the spiritual abode of Hari in the Vaikuntha planets, but you are so fortunate that you are already destined to go to that abode by worshipping him as the supreme abode of all living entities. Purport. The material bodies of all living entities cannot exist unless sheltered by the spirit soul and the super soul. The spirit soul is dependent on the super soul, who is present even within the atom. Therefore, since anything material or spiritual is completely dependent on the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord is referred to here as Bhutavasa. Dhruva Maharaj, as a Kshatriya, could have argued with his grandfather Manu when Manu requested him to stop fighting. But even though Dhruva could have argued that as a Kshatriya it was his duty to fight with the enemy, he was informed that since every living entity is a residence of the Supreme Lord and can be considered a temple of the Lord, the unnecessary killing of any living entity is not permitted. Oh, there you go. Sometimes you have to put sanctions on buildings, isn't it?
Sanction on buildings?
Well, because Prabhupada here is saying that you can see the other all living entities as a temple. So I'm saying sometimes temple is a building. Sometimes buildings are sanctioned or they're cordoned off. Sometimes it's like, don't go there, don't go to that building, it's horrible.
Okay.
Don't need to destroy it, but I'm just saying you can avoid it.
Okay. Well, you always get magical things out of the purports. I just never see.
I'm just trying to keep it real so all the viewers can relate,
We'll go keep it real, man.
It's like Lord Chaitanya's resting his hand on my chin.
Lifting your head up.
Maybe he's trying to get me to shut up. Close your mouth, girl. Talking too much nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. It's like you kind of went from the statement to what you saw as the kind of, what's the word? Like the kind of opposite of the rule, you know. Anyhow. Okay, we'll read text 12 and then conclude. Because, that was an important point. And maybe it'll cover it here, so I'll hold it. Because you are a pure devotee of the Lord is always thinking of you, and you are always recognized by all his confidential devotees. Your life is meant for exemplary behavior. I am therefore surprised. Why have you undertaken such an abominable task? So, I'll read the purport in a second, but I was just thinking that here we go, we have Dhruva Maharaj, who is clearly a pure devotee. In the previous verse it mentions that you're already going back to Godhead, basically. Swami Manu just clearly says, you're going back to Godhead. Anyhow, that's already clear. But in the meantime, I'm a little bit shocked of how you're conducting yourself while you're here. You're already a liberated soul. You're already Jiva Mukti. So why are you killing all these people like this, kind of thing? Purport. Dhruva Maharaj was a pure devotee and was accustomed to always thinking of the Lord. Reciprocally, the Lord always thinks of those pure devotees who think of him only 24 hours a day. As a pure devotee does not know anything beyond the Lord, so the Lord does not know anything beyond his pure devotee. Swami Manu pointed out this fact to Dhruva Maharaj. Quote, not only are you a pure devotee, but you are recognized by all pure devotees of the Lord. You should always act in such an exemplary way that others may learn from you. Under the circumstances, it is surprising that you have killed so many faultless yakshas. Yes, so hopefully it will be explained. It may be, you might need to catch it in the next episode. But it's, and very, very, very important point that Dhruva Maharaj is a pure devotee and he's still doing something that appears incorrect, and Swayambhuva Manu has come to correct him. Meanwhile, he's a liberated soul. And this last part, you should always act in such an exemplary way that others may learn from you. It just reminds me of one letter Srila Prabhupada wrote to Treya Rishi, and in like the second or third paragraph, he, after kind of chastising him, he says to him, so, you should set the example. You should be the example, and then all these people you're complaining about will come to you and learn from you. But you should set the example. So it's very important. Because we can complain about others, but then we have to see, well, what did I do to help create the situation? And, am I actually leading by example? So, anyway. Titikshaya Karunaya.
Okay.
That's the next verse, by tolerance and mercy.
We'll catch you in the next blog.
And maybe, hopefully, these Sankirtan renegades, rebels, will be present.
Let's see.
Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.